Welcome back to In the Realest Way podcast with Marqes Smith, where we talk about so many topics in the realest way. On this podcast episode, I want to talk about the realest version of you. And before we start, let's really get into this back, honey. Let's get into this Erykah Badu. Okay? I love me some Erykah Badu. If you don't like Erykah Badu, you're lost. Okay? I'm not gonna lie to you, you're lost. Erykah Badu is something that will last forever. Talk about a talent in itself, okay? But anyway, I want to talk about the realest version of you. And like I always say in every podcast episode, the things I talk about, they're really happening in my life. They're challenges I'm facing. They're challenges I'm learning from. That's the important thing, that when we talk about these topics, we're learning something from it. Every single time we talk about it. Every single time I'm mentioning something, I'm learning something new about myself too. So I just want to say how important this is for me too. Yeah, I'm putting this camera up. Yeah, I'm expecting certain things out of it, but also I'm expecting certain things from myself. So when talking about the realest version of you, I want to start off by the simple fact that being who you are right now is enough. As simple as that. Who you are right now is enough. No matter what nobody says, no matter what anybody tells you you need to be, who you are right now is enough. You may not have exactly what you want. You may not be exactly who you want. Physically, mentally, spiritually, you may not be there. But I promise you, who you were before this, you didn't even think you could achieve that before. And if you did, you may have had a little bumps in the road. You may have been like, oh, okay, I don't know if I'm really going to, if this is exactly the way I need to go. But now you see that you got to a certain place. There were times when I was like, okay, well, I want to be here. And I would get there and I wouldn't even notice it because I was so focused on what other people had to say about what I was doing. Well, Smith, you're supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be doing that. Focus on what you need to do, what you know is right. Be okay with being who you are right now. Because I promise you, when everybody who's successful talks about being and becoming who they are right now, they had to start where they were, I didn't know who I was, or I was facing challenges of knowing who I was. All of these things, they had to start somewhere. They didn't just wake up out the bed and just become successful. They didn't wake up out the bed understanding themselves. I've talked to so many people on a daily basis. Yeah, I go outside on the weekends. I hang out. I don't have any time. I don't have any free time really to sit and think. I'm always partying. I'm always doing something. I can't sit in my room and not do something. They said, I cannot sit in my room and not do anything. And I literally told them, people, that is sad. That the fact that you can sit and say that you're not comfortable confronting yourself, the realest version of who you are, you don't have to like everything about who you are right now. But in order to change something, you have to embrace it. The only way to change it is to embrace it. There's no way you can do anything without accepting that it's there. If I'm being delusional, I'm saying, well, I have these issues going on and I'm not facing them mentally. They don't exist. That's not how it works. They exist, but you're sitting here forcing it not to. And it's coming up in unhealthy ways in relationships and with other people. Now you're sitting around here with an attitude. Now you got all these spirits, all this stuff on you. You don't even know why. You're not sitting the time to calm your mind. You're not doing what you need to do. You don't have to be religious. This is not about God, and everybody is not going to understand that everybody has different paths in life. Your path may not be that way, but have an understanding. When you wake up, do not start playing rap music. I'ma kill, I'ma shoot, da 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 da. You listening to that in the morning. Do you realize what that's doing to your brain? I'm not saying don't listen to it. I'm saying be intentional with what you listen to. There was a post I saw, and it was talking about being intentional with everything that you're doing. When you're eating, be intentional. Really be focused on eating. Be focused on eating. Be intentional with what you eat. Be intentional with how you walk. I'm just spitting. Be intentional with how you walk. Be intentional when you go to the gym. Really give it your all in your time. Because if not, you're going to be sitting here saying, oh, I could do this. I could do that. All these things. Really understand that. Giving it your full attention. People are sitting around here, they're not taking care of their mind. They walking around. If we really could see spirits and whatever is causing us to feel so deep down and we're not focusing on it, I truly believe we would see dark clouds over people. Just things just over them, just, making them irritated and angry. Every time you ask a question, somebody is poking them in the back of their head. They're getting angry. They're getting mad. Understand that you have to have a clear mind. Understand that if you want to become another version, a better version, understand when I say a better version, it does not mean that this version right here is not good. This version of you is beautiful and it is okay. It is perfectly imperfect. Understand that. Because every step that you take is moving on to become who you really need to be. So when I'm saying all this stuff, it's important. It's so important to understand that. You so focused, everybody. I'm telling you, we're all caught in a cycle, and I'm in it too. I'm in it too. We're in a cycle of addiction to something. We're addicted and we're following it, and we're so bent on being understood by everybody else. We will really be misunderstood by ourselves just to make everybody else feel okay. Understand that the realest version of who you are right now is important. And in order to become the person that you want and you can be, you have to take the steps. You have to keep moving. I said this in a previous podcast. You're not going to become the person you want to become by sitting home and doing nothing in regards to that. Okay? You want to make a YouTube channel. You sitting at home watching the YouTube videos. You ain't put a camera on your face. Okay? It ain't got to be. And I said this before. It does not have to be perfect to do it. If you wait for anything to be perfect, you will never do anything because nothing will ever be perfect. And I promise you, when I made my first podcast episode, my first visual podcast episode, and my first mukbang, please go check that out. It will be in the bottom of this. Understand that it was so perfect because it was imperfect. The laughs and the jokes and the mistakes, everything I did, it really shows you who you are. It shows I don't want to be around people who are perfect. Those people don't even exist. But the fact that you think you can achieve perfection in this form is crazy to me. You will never be perfect. And that's the beautiful thing about life. Stop being so focused on this and that. Stop being so focused. Be who you are right now. This part of you, this version of you is so important. It is so important. I promise you, there's things I started doing. I started waking up in the morning. I go to the mirror. I look in the mirror. I tell myself, I love you. I don't do it every day. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not a constant thing, but I try to do it every chance I get. Every chance I get. It's certain things that we let go by. We don't think it's important. The small things. It matters. It matters. And I promise you, if you want to become another version of you, a person that you want, you have to accept everything that comes with that. You have to accept it. You have to embrace it. You have to, I'm going to say it again. In order to accept something, in order to change something, you have to accept it and embrace it. I almost messed it up, but I didn't. Okay? And I want to talk about also the issues that I faced recently. I've said this in previous podcasts. I had an amazing, I had beautiful connections with people, beautiful friendships. They didn't work. There were seasons in my life. I can get into that too. But I had to understand that my heart posture wasn't all of what it should be. Understanding that, yes, I'm okay as I am, but there's so much more I can, become. I had to understand that my heart posture, which means how I looked at things and how I felt about certain things, they weren't where they should have been for me personally in my morals. I seen a Facebook post of my ex best friend, and she was smiling. She was with her friends, people from the company that we both graduated from AIT. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it bothered me a little bit. It agitated me. I was a little upset. I tried to tell myself that it didn't matter, but then again, I was hiding a version of myself right now that needed to be brought to the forefront and talked about and understood. Well, why do you feel this way? Why do you feel so angry about that? Because it was supposed to be me, is what I told myself. We were supposed to have this friendship that lasted forever. And I had to tell myself, everything is a season. Every part of you, in regards to yourself and other people, is a season. There's some point when you got to understand that it's not going to be exactly how you want it to be, but in the future, you're going to see all that it will become. I've learned so many lessons from that beautiful soul. Nothing to say bad about her. Nothing I could say bad about her. She pushed me. She helped me grow. She helped me become a better person. We had arguments. We had issues, but we faced them and we came out as better people. We may have not been together when that happened, but I promise you, we are two different people because of it. You have to understand that it's okay for everybody not to be in your version of who you are right now. They were back there. They're doing their own thing. There was this TikTok I heard, I was watching, and this dude was saying he was on a track and he was running. I'm doing laps. I'm overlapping you. It's not to say that I'm better than you. It's not to say that I'm above you, but we're going at two different paces in life. Okay? And that's okay. That's okay. You know, at some point I'm going to slow down. I'm not going to be going as fast as I'm going right now. But you have to get to a point where you're like, okay, look, you taught me this in my life. I love it. I love you. This is the end of our season. You have to be okay with the end to start again. But in order to be okay with the end, you have to embrace it. Embrace that change, accept it, and understand it. We so on to want to be successful. We want to be all this stuff. I am 21, but I promise you, I'm doing things, and I'm not saying this in a cocky way. I'm doing the things that some people at 40 years old, 50 years old, 30 years old, they're not even doing right now. When is it going to be you when it comes to your life? When are you going to take your mental health, your physical well-being, your spirituality, wherever that may be? When is it going to be you? We want to take from other people, and I don't denounce the fact that it takes a village. It takes a village. We all need people around us. But when you're pulling from other people so much from something that should be within you, that's where the issue comes. And that's where the lack of, okay, now this person's out of my life. Now what do I do? I'm not getting enough attention. I'm not getting enough love. Get it from yourself. So when other people, when they do, some people are going to leave your life. They may pass away. Some people, their season no longer works with you. You have to be okay by yourself. Be okay by yourself. I promise you, it's not as bad as it seems. I used to always want to be out and about all the time. I want to see me. Know me. No, I don't even know myself. I come home, I'm angry. I have an attitude with my grandma. I'm being disrespectful, being rude because I'm not taking the time. And I'm not saying everything was a me thing. Some issues were caused by trauma. But whose trauma is it to heal? It's not my grandma's trauma. It's not the people at school that I'm fake smiling in their face, pretending like I'm okay. It's showing theirs. They think I'm okay. It has to be you. It has to be you. I'm so Every time I'm talking and I say keywords that have overlapped in other podcasts from titles into things I've said, and I realize how everything is so conjoined together, it makes me happy because I'm understanding that all these things, they matter to me and they're connecting in a way to where I know that there's somebody up there watching me, listening to me, understanding everything that I'm experiencing right now. And I'm not saying I'm going to be perfect tomorrow. I got a long way to go. I'm probably going to relapse some days. I'm human. That's the beauty of it. Embrace that. Understand that before you can change it. Because I promise you, it's not going to work any other way. You're going to sit here. You know how many times I said I forgave people and I didn't forgive them? I'm still dealing with that issue to this day. I forgave you. I forgive you. I'm not saying I said that to those people, but mentally I said, okay, you did this to me. I forgive you. And I didn't. Just lying. And I tried to forgive them. But there's some things that take time. They take repetition. They take really diving in deep, because you can think you went down to the depths of the ocean, but I promise you, you can always go a little deeper. And everything's not about digging up old things, okay? Go to the surface sometimes. Look at the sun. Go out, lay on the beach sometimes. Everything ain't about digging up the trauma, okay? It's not all about that, but you have to start. You have to start. I promise you, if you don't start, you're going to be bleeding on people who don't deserve to. Now we just bleeding on everybody. And now they bleeding on everybody. And now it's just this constant cycle of everybody just bleeding and being angry and being mad. You know how upset I was when I realized how much I was the issue in my relationships. I am still now. Everybody plays a part in anything that is related to them. But I didn't realize so much so in the past how much I affected the relationship in a bad way. From my ego and not wanting to heal, it really bothered me. It really upset me. And I didn't want to be that person anymore. I didn't want to be yelling and cussing and being angry. I didn't want to disrespect my grandma no more. I didn't want to hold people to an unhealthy standard because I wasn't happy and I was not healing. But there's a point when you have to accept. I had to accept that that was who I was before I could change it. I didn't just become a person who was, oh, I'm so happy now. I had to become a person who understood that the version that I was right now was who I was. And no matter how much I wanted to change it, I had to embrace it first. I promise you, the healing journey, it's gonna be something that's challenging. It's gonna be something that's hard. There's gonna be days you don't want to do anything. But I promise you, those are the days, once you get out that bed, you're another step closer to the person you know that you can be. But you have to take the first step. I want to end this off on a beautiful note. This has been something so beautiful, so amazing to me. I don't care. Excuse that notification from whoever this is on Instagram. Charleston. Anyway, I want to say I'm grateful for the experiences that this podcast, the experiences that all of this has made me. This healing journey, this growth journey, it's not just for the listeners and the viewers of this podcast. It's not just about them, it's about me too. I'm taking this journey with you. And I'm going to become a different person every single time. I'm going to learn myself every single time. It's going to be something that is challenging, yet I need it and I yearn for it. Also, before I leave, when becoming the realest version of yourself, you have to understand that there's gonna be people who see your potential and they're gonna want to cap it. They're gonna want to stop you. I'm not gonna say too much, but there were times recently where I was really good at something. People wanted me to stay right there. Because if I was really good at that, I couldn't be really good at everything else, even though I could. Understand that don't stop just because other people want to be comfortable and everything that they did would become meaningless. And it's not even meaningless in terms of anything in general. It becomes meaningless in their eyes because they see you succeeding. They see you having success. So it's important to not cap who you are for anybody. Be the realest version of you. Don't shy away from everything that you could become because other people want you to be less than so they can feel like more. Be everything you can be. Love all that you can be. Lead with love. Lead with love. And that's what I want to end this podcast episode with. Just take time. Let that marinate. Let it sit on your spirit. I'm going to let it do that for me too. There's going to be something out here on this podcast. I'm like, well, dang. I ain't had to eat up that bad, honey. I didn't have to go down in the kitchen and really, you know what I'm saying? I was really cooking in the kitchen. I can't really cook, honey. But when it comes to this words and this speaking, I really can articulate and really meticulously put it into, this podcast. But anyway, like I say at the end of every podcast episode, I give thanks to the highest of the utmost power, God. I'm thankful for my friends and my family, for the listeners and viewers of this podcast. Expect more from me from Mukbangs or Mukbangs, however you say it. Expect so much more from me. I'm going to keep pushing myself. I'm going to keep learning this new experience. So yeah, this is In the Realest Way podcast. Out. Bye.